Hello, this is Caitlin Kennedy, and I am showing you my project and presenting the information in Part A. To my future buyer, look no more because I am confident that this farmhouse TV stand will be the perfect fit for your living room. I designed it so that it will fit right into your modern farmhouse theme. The white worn color gives the TV stand a comforting feel, and the stained wooden color top will be perfect pop of contrast that you are looking for. The top three shelves are perfect for fitting your receiver, DVD player, or even some cute decor. The vintage farmhouse knobs work perfectly for the bottom three drawers where you can fit anything from magazines, blankets, DVDs, or whatever your heart desires. Also, the wooden farmhouse TV stand is quite sturdy, so you do not need to worry about damaging easily. This TV stand is a rectangular prism with the dimensions of 5.5 feet in width, a depth of 2.5 feet, and a height of 3 feet. So I'm going to scroll down. This is my TV stand. You can see I have the measurements of the depth, the width, and the height. The top three are just shelves that I thought would be cool. The little top that you can see the depth, that would be that wooden color, the top of the table. And then that would be this part right here. That would be the white worn color. And then this is the drawing that I did for the rectangular prism when it's all flattened out. You can see that there's 6 sides, and that each side, 3 of the sides out of the 6 have different measurements, dimensions. Those are qualities of a rectangular prism. And then here's a model that I did for the farmhouse TV stand. I actually made this out of foil and duct tape because I didn't have any paper that would really fold right, and I didn't have tape except for duct tape, so I did it that way, which I thought was really cool. And then I just drew on there that you can see like the vintage knobs and like the 3 drawers, and then the shelves where you could put stuff if you wanted to. Next is the logistics. I'm just going to go ahead and read these to you. This will explain how I did everything, and then I'll tell you about the picture. First, I found the area of each side of the rectangular prism. I know that a rectangular prism has 6 sides with 3 rectangles with different dimensions. I also know that each of these 3 different dimensions occurs twice. Therefore, I can find the area of each of the 3 sides first. Side A equals 5.5 feet times 3 feet. Side B, or side 2, is A equals 5.5 feet times 2.5 feet. And side 3, or side C, is A equals 3 feet times 2.5 feet. So for side 1, the area is 16.5 feet squared. For side 2, the area is 13.75 feet squared. And for side 3, the area is 7.5 feet squared. So as you can see, I just wrote the area, the length times width. And then since we know that there's 3 different rectangles that have, in a rectangular prism that have the same sides, we know that we are going to be able to find the surface area by timesing each of those by 2. But first I wanted to show that I timesed each different dimension, and I got the results right here. And then I just drew a little rectangular prism just to kind of show you that, here would be the front side and the back, and then the top and the bottom and the left and right. And you could see that just by the drawing that they would be congruent to one another. And then the next step is to find the surface area, and because I found the area for each rectangle in the rectangular prism, I'm ready to solve for this. The surface area is the entire measurement of the prism with all sides combined. Since we know that each of the 3 rectangles with different measurements occurs twice, we can use a formula for a surface area that will times each area of the rectangle twice. So the surface area is 2 times side 1, 2 times side 2, 2 times side 3. So 2 times the area of the first triangle plus 2 times the area of the second triangle plus 2 times the area of the third triangle will solve for the surface area as shown. And then I went ahead and have the formula right here, and then I have the formula that plugged in with my 3 different dimensions of my rectangles. Then I kept the area just so you could see right here, and then the surface area. So we're doing 2 times the front, the back, 2 times the left, the right, 2 times the bottom and the top. It's pretty easy. You just write down the answers you got for each rectangular, the area, and then you just times each by 2, and you get the answers right here, 33, 27.5, and 15. And then you add them all together, and that makes the surface area 75.5 feet squared. Now we're going to find the volume. It says, lastly, we must find the volume. To find the volume, the formula is just the area of the base times the area of the height of the rectangular prism. I looked at the drawing I had made as a reference. Side 2, or rectangular 2, shows the area of the base, which is 13.5. The height of the prism is 3, so simple, just plug in the numbers into the formula. V equals area of base times height. Therefore, V is 13.5 times 3, because 13.5 was the area of that base triangle, and then 3 is the height of our rectangular prism. So the volume of the rectangular prism is 41.25 feet cubed. That's pretty explanatory right there itself. And then I went ahead and wrote this for the customer at the bottom. It says, "Dear customer, it is important to know the surface area of your new farmhouse TV stand. That way you can figure out where exactly you want to put it in your living room and how much space is required for it. You can use tools like a measuring tape to help you get the idea of the space that you need. You also have the volume of the TV stand, which is important so you know how much you can fit into it and get the idea of how big it really is. I think this will be perfect for your new home." So that was the presenting my project for part A. My reaction to the project, I actually thought it was pretty cool. I had a hard time figuring out how to do it at first, but then I looked at the example, and then it pretty much told me step by step everything that I needed to do. I also thought it was kind of cool because it was hands on, and even though it was kind of time consuming making something out of duct tape and foil, it kind of like relates to, using that math to like create a real world scenario, what a profession might be like that actually uses, the mathematics that we're taught, which I thought was pretty cool because a lot of people just think that they're taking math and they're not going to use anything that they're doing. And this is just an example of, there are professions out there that, use all of this information on a daily basis. Um, an explanation to the relevance of this project in relation to my profession. Um, I kind of, well, in relation to the profession for being an interior designer, um, this is really relevant because as an interior designer, you're, creating new pieces of furniture, selling new pieces of furniture to people that live in, multiple different kinds of environments. There's people that live in small apartments, and then there's people that live in big mansions. You don't want to put a giant 7-foot TV stand in a small, 700 square foot apartment, or you don't want to put a huge, giant dining room table in an area that's only, 12 by 13 feet. So, like, being an interior designer, you have to really know the area that the customers are working with, and you have to know your products, and you have to try to match up, what would be best with what area, and also not only just the math portion, knowing the dimensions, kind of knowing the surface area and the volume, but like knowing your customers too, and just being able to see what they like and their preferences and what kind of style that they have. I really like the farmhouse style. I think that's really cool. It's modern, but it's super comfortable, and it just reminds me of home. So that's why I picked that. Also, I have a TV stand currently that's a farmhouse TV stand, and I absolutely love it. So the model that I did is kind of like a real life model of what I have in my own house. And then explanation of your responsibility to the profession as it relates to this project. Um, like I said a little bit before, it's your responsibility as an interior designer to know about, the statistics and the geometry, basically, when it comes to your products, tables, everything, couches, all of any type of furniture. Even whether it's for like a home or an office, like they all are going to have dimensions. We're working with geometrical figures here, so they're all going to have a base and a height and a depth, and your responsibility is to make sure that you're not selling your customers something that isn't going to fit in their home. So you want to make sure that you're explaining the situation to the people and figuring out how big of a place that they live in, but also to make sure that whatever you're selling them, you know the dimensions on it and you know that it's going to fit in that area. Overall, I thought this was a pretty cool project. Honestly, it took me a little bit longer than I thought because I was trying to figure out what to use, whether it being YouTube or this screen mirroring thing. Um, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed the explanation, and this was my geometry project.